Okay.
Our first video together.
No, I'm excited. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, my back.
Oh no.
I feel like an old lady.
We are old. No, you're not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, welcome to a new YouTube video. So, as you guys can tell, this is not going to be a vlog. It's going to be another sit-down talk today. Chris actually came up with a name right now, and he called it Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk. I'll probably call it Pillow Talk with Jazzy, something like that. I actually really like the name. But yeah, so first and foremost, we have a guest here today.
Hello.
This is my best friend.
Yes. Best of friends.
We'll go into her story in a little bit. Just giving you guys a little bit a life update for me. This week has been it's been a crazy week, and I will say that I feel like I jinxed myself with the last video. I feel like every time I talk about how good my relationship is, shit goes down afterwards. It's like I'm calling all these negative like energies or something, because then it's like every time I've talked to, like, it doesn't matter who I'm talking about, who I'm talking to, but when I'm like, oh, my relationship is so good, blah, 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 something always fucking fucks it up. Always. And I felt like this week,
That's how it is.
It always is like, I don't know, like, that's why sometimes I'm like, man, it's better to stay quiet and not to let people know your moves, but at the end of the day, I'm just sharing my life with you guys. And that being said, Chris and I had a little bit of issues this week, but it's all fixed. We are good. And yeah, but it kind of did affect like just the way I felt this week. So I just wanted to be raw and honest with you guys.
Totally normal when you're married 10 years. Yeah. You're gonna have ups and downs.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's okay.
I know. But anyway, so today's video, I wanted to, get Hev, especially because she's in her late 20s. No, you're not. Her late 20s. And she's single, and she has like a different, outlook on life. We are very similar, but at the same time, it's good to have a different outlook on life, for like someone who's single versus someone who's married. So, you want to give a little bit of a background about yourself or anything?
Yeah, so what can I say? I'm 28 years old. My background is in human resources. Ethnicity, Moroccan and Lebanese. My dad's Lebanese, my mom's Moroccan, so 50-50. Been in Sugar Land or Houston since I was 5. Met Jasmine about 2 years ago. Yeah, oh my God, it's already been 2 years.
I know.
And we've been best friends ever since.
Yeah. And we met at the gym.
We met at the gym.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we met at the expo.
Oh yes, we did meet at the expo.
But then we
met at the gym.
We connected at the gym.
So little thing, I don't know if I ever told you, when Eva came up to me, she came up to me in an expo, and she's like, oh my gosh, I saw you at the mall in Houston, and it was an expo in LA, and I was just like, man, this girl is crazy. I was like, this girl crazy? She's stalking me, like, she's like, oh, I saw you at the mall, but I didn't want to say hi. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, like what?
Like, oh.
And then we saw each other at the gym.
Because you were like, where are you from?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm actually from Sugar Land.
Yeah.
My sister's here for a dance competition, figured out, stop by, say hi. And she's like, oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to say, I love meeting everyone, but sometimes you get a little bit of like the weird, I hate to say weirdos, but they're just a little off. And so when she said that to me, I was like,
and I'm so awkward. Like, I'm so socially awkward. I probably came off like, hi, like,
I just talked to you at the mall. Like, hi.
Oh, God.
No, but then we reconnected in the gym at Alphalete, and I remember I was like, hey, we need to work out together. It was when I had just moved to Houston, and I didn't have any friends, so I was like,
you just jumped into my workout. You're like, what are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna join you. I was like, oh. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I ran track my whole life, cross country, long distance, and I got into lifting like 6 months before I met you. Yeah. And I was like, just walking in with confidence. I was like, I'm just gonna.
You look very confident. Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna hack squat, and you come in, you're like, what are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna do your workout today. I was like, oh. I was like, okay. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
and like this Instagram fitness models trying to do my workout. I was like, that's okay. I was like,
yeah, I forgot that it was like that. I was having a really bad day that day too, and I was like, I need some good energy. And Heba always walked into the gym like she knew what she, like confident, knowing what she was doing. So I was like,
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, this girl knows exactly what she's doing. Like I'm just gonna, be friends with her. I literally just claimed you, and I was like, we're gonna be best friends.
Yeah, we like chose each other.
Yeah, and we thankfully we clicked. Like we just clicked right away.
We're the kind of friends that we don't have to like entertain each other. You know what I mean? Like we can just sit there and we're like, okay, let's just sit here and watch this show or something like that and eat and just.
It's not forced.
Yeah, it's not forced at all.
Our relationship is not.
We can sit in silence and we're cool.
Yeah. So we've been friends for 2 years. And yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you talking a little bit about yourself, but she's in human resources. She was cross country like I was.
I was a teacher for 4 years. I don't really know.
She was a teacher.
I was a teacher.
I could not believe when I met her. She was like, I'm a teacher. Like, you're too hot to be a teacher.
Like, thank God it was second grade.
Yeah.
They were so innocent.
Yeah.
They just saw me as like they thought I was like 50. They were like, you're like 50. I'm like,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, but I'm so glad like you didn't teach high school or something because I don't know how you would even get away with like teaching high school, but
couldn't do it.
Anyways, being best friends with her, I've seen her like grow the last 2 years in her job, in her career, in her
ups and downs. She's been there.
Yeah, career, relationships. Just the recent one, thankfully. She told me all about the past relationships. Honestly, guys, you would not believe the stories she has told me and like the dates that she has gone on.
And I still have hope, guys.
I'm like,
still hopeful.
Shocked. Like I'm like, what?
To the point where she's like,
this is
Chris, thank God we're married.
Yeah.
I couldn't date.
I could not. I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't know what I would do, guys, if I had to date.
Yeah, dating was a nightmare.
Yeah, so I wanted this segment to be about like not settling in your career, not settling in your relationship, because that's something that I feel like I've seen in Heba is that she hasn't settled with her career. In this little relationship she settled a little bit, but we got her back on track. So she's doing really good now. But I just wanted to open the topic with that. Let's start with like your career. I feel like, you were a teacher, but you knew that that's not what you wanted to do, right?
Yes. So I was a teacher for 4 years. Teaching was always temporary. I knew I didn't want to do that long term, although I loved it at the time. It was perfect for what I was doing at the time and just focusing on teaching and fitness. It was great. And then I got my master's in human resources. That was always the plan, was for me to get my master's in HR and transfer to that career. But it's very difficult because you can have your degree and everything, but if you don't have like 5 years experience in that field, they're like, oh no, like there's better people and it's very competitive. And it was just a lot. So transferring, and I was stuck there. I loved the people I worked with. I loved my boss at the time. And then eventually everyone just left. So I was like, okay, this is my time to do it. So I quit.
Quit teaching.
I quit teaching and I was like, I'm going to get, I did a summer internship at a pharmacy. They didn't really have any open positions. It was just a good learning experience. Went ahead and did recruiting for an oil and gas recruiting agency. Got furloughed because of COVID, which was devastating. Not having a plan and not knowing where it was going, not knowing if I could come back. It was a mess. Luckily, Jasmine, being that the good friend that she is, connected me with one of her mutual friends who knew of a person who needed some temporary help. So that was a temporary job, which was intense.
Very intense.
I won't go into detail because I don't want to talk bad about anybody.
But I will say that experience that she went through made me appreciate my job being like an entrepreneur and doing my own thing, because, and it's something that I've been wanting to ask like people who are really high up in business about how how it is in that job in corporate, because in corporate I feel like there's a lot of like things that you have to do, like a lot of dirty work that's really unnecessary. And I think like that's why, as a friend, seeing her go through everything she went through with her jobs, I was like, what the heck, is that normal to go through?
That was a normal situation. I was working like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and doing random things that I wasn't qualified to do, working on the weekends. Like I didn't see you for the like 3 months I worked there. And then I eventually quit that. Like I just didn't show up one day. I was like, I just can't. I mean, it was like technically a contract position. Like they told me like at 3 months, like, well, we'll go on a 3-month basis, but at 3 months I was just like, I'm not coming back.
I'm out.
I had no plan.
And I literally applaud her.
Yeah, that was so scary.
Because after month 1, I was like, get the hell out of that job.
And if you know me, I do not know how to quit. Like, in a situation where I'm supposed to quit, I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it just because I don't want to like fail or like when you quit something, you just feel like you're failing.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. But once it starts affecting your like mental health and all that stuff, life's too short.
Yeah.
You'll know when it's not.
And like your sister said, sometimes quitting is the best thing for you. It's not necessarily failure. It's like, okay, sometimes you have to quit in order to grow in your life and
to go where you want to be.
Yeah. So I applaud her for staying there for 3 months, because if I would have been me and my personality, I'm like,
day 2,
hell no, I'm out. So anyways, okay, yeah, so you quit, still not knowing where you're going to go. It's still during COVID.
No plan. So then I started like networking, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, reaching out to friends, reaching out to everybody. I was like, here's my resume, just in case. And then one of my good friends, they work at the hospital that I work at now. They're like, why don't you work here? And I was like, okay, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, so what can I do? And they're like, come volunteer. And we've seen people volunteer and end up getting hired. Like, they helped me so much. Like, seriously. Their names are Tanya and Christina. They helped these 2 twins I went to high school with. And they literally mentored me. Like, we went through everything together. They're like, this is the hospital, this is where to go, blah, blah, what to do, who to talk to, who to connect with. And then I remember I volunteered one day. So I did like different things at the hospital, and I was like, I'm not stopping. Like, I was volunteering 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 days a week. I told myself, I was like, I told you. Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna stop volunteering here until I get a job. Like, this is where I want to be. It was just like the perfect environment, the perfect people. Like, it was so compatible with me and where I wanted to take myself. And also, like, it was so stable, like a hospital. Like, if another pandemic happens, they're not furloughing people. So I was thinking long term. I was like, I don't want to be in the same situation and stay in the oil and gas industry. And like, when I'm 40 years old with like kids and stuff and I can't support them, like, I would rather suffer now, make it, take a bit of time when I don't have people to support, just myself. It's like, this is the time to take this risk. And I did. Yeah. And I remember my boss is awesome. I remember when I first saw him, I was volunteering to handing out like blankets, like a blanket distribution for the employees there. And I knew exactly who he was because I'm such a creep. Like, I was on LinkedIn, I knew everybody like in the HR department. I was like, okay. I was like, that's the director. And I saw him, he's so intimidating. He's like 6'5". And I was like, I was like, hi. And then he was like, okay, so like, he's so fast paced. He's like, so this is what we need to do. This is where you need to be. I was like, okay. So I just went ahead and volunteered. And then he finally, like, when I was about to head out, because my shift was over, he was sitting on my purse. I was like, yes, this is like my chance to go over there and like talk to him. And he was doing something on the computer. And I was like, hi. I was like, hi, can I have my purse? And he was like, yeah, oh, so sorry. He's like, thank you so much for volunteering. I was like, actually, and I just went in there, introduced myself, and I don't even remember what I said. I blacked out. I was like, I'm Hiba. I have a background in HR. He was just like, oh, he's like, here's my card. He's like, email me, we'll connect, we'll figure this out. I was like, okay. And I was like, this is too good to be true. Yeah. Like, I was like, but stay positive. Cause it's just, so many people will give you their business cards and be like, we'll connect. Like, but I didn't stop. I like reached out to him, followed up with him multiple times, and a position opened. I applied for it and I got the position, and I like cried. Like, I literally ugly cried. I was like, and I've been happy ever since. And I was like, thank God thank God I quit. Honestly, there comes to a point in time where you have to quit, like, to get to where you deserve and want to be. And I couldn't be happier. It's a long story. I suffered a lot, but I would do it all again if it meant I'd be where I am now. Yeah, no, and I agree. Like, we talked a lot about it. Like, especially you guys, or ladies, whoever's watching, if you guys are still in your 20s or even you're in your 30s, it doesn't matter if you have kids or not. But if you don't have kids, it's a great time for you guys to take risk. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? Like, it doesn't matter. You just have to keep moving forward. And for her, I told her when she, because she took like quitting that previous job really hard, and I was like, because like she said, I feel like I'm a failure. I'm like, no, like, this is the time. We would go on runs, and I'm like, Jasmine, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Like, I was second guessing myself. I was freaking out. No, this is the time, because you don't want to settle here, get married, and then throw all that misery and all that stress on your husband as well, because then that becomes their stress too. You want to be happy and stable in what you are, right? Yeah.
so that that person adds value to you. So I'm really glad she did. And then she started volunteering, and she started volunteering a lot. And I was like, Heba, are you sure you're doing the right thing volunteering so much? I'm like,
she was like, I mean, you don't let them take advantage of you.
No, I was so like, I'm
She's
like,
the protective mom.
I am. I was like, I knew she had to, and I'm so glad she did, because that's the reason why she got noticed by this guy. If she wouldn't have volunteered that day,
I know,
you would
have met him. It was a 6 a.m. shift. I'm not even kidding. I woke up at like 4 a.m. to get to the. If y'all know parking in the med center, you have to get there like an hour early. So I woke up at like 4 a.m. to get there at 6 and.
To go volunteer at a job she wasn't going to get paid for. She didn't know what this was going.
Where it was going.
Yeah, so that's why I was just like, man, like, don't be volunteering so much. But I'm so glad that you did, because, so then she kept it kind of on the DL until she would, like, secure the job.
Until I signed that paper. I was like, I'm not telling anybody. And it was so hard. It was so hard. I was like, I didn't even tell my parents. Like, I didn't tell anybody. Not even the guy I was dating at the time. I was like, just between me and you, God, we got this.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And then, like, we met up for breakfast, and she told me, and then I started ugly ass
She was crying in the restaurant. I was like,
at the restaurant, because I was just like, overwhelmed.
Oh my God, I tortured everybody in this process.
No, it's just so good to see, like, you know, like, it doesn't matter what your career is, you know, it's not necessarily just, like, you know, I'm sure you guys watch a lot of motivational videos about to start your own business, you have to take risks, but it's not just about starting your own business. It's about what career path do you want to go into, what job do you want to get, and if that's the job that you truly are passionate about, do not settle. Do not settle. I told her, I was like, it's gonna happen. I don't know when it's gonna happen for you, but I know it's gonna happen for you. And you just have to manifest it. You just have to keep telling yourself, like, it's gonna happen for you. Don't settle. And there may be like you know, you had temporary jobs. There's little you know, little stones.
Yeah. And what I learned in my previous position, that even just that 3-month position helped me so much in the role that I'm in now. Yeah. It really taught me a lot. And it taught me how to, like, figure things out on my own and like think fast and move fast. So everything happens for a reason, and I do believe in the stepping stones.
So don't settle in your career if you know, like, there's something. Thankfully, like, I feel like with you, a good thing was that you had a good support system, because not many have good support systems, and I know it can be hard. When people don't support or don't see your vision, it's very hard. You know, with Chris and I, a lot of people didn't see our vision. Our parents still to this day don't really understand what we do. They support us now, thankfully, but, you know, there were a lot of people who doubted us, who didn't know what we did, and when you don't have the support, it can be very hard. But as long as you trust your gut and you know you have yourself, like, I knew, like, if it didn't work out, I don't care. I'll work 3 to 4 jobs to get to where I want to be. So as long as you know you have yourself, that's all that matters. Exactly. Don't settle in a job or you know what.
Life is too short. We're gonna die in 60 years. Like, if you really think about it, that's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, I'm gonna die in 60 years. Go for it. Yeah. Do it.
In 6 years, you say that?
60. Oh my God.
No, I'm saying, but you never know.
Yeah.
I feel
60.
I feel like with COVID, 2020 taught me, like, you don't know. You know, we were locked up for so long. Like, you need to start, like, taking advantage of being not only young but being able to go out, like, and
enjoy your life
and make experiences with your significant other, by yourself, with your friends, like,
family. Spend more time with family. That was a big thing for me.
Yeah, because I think, you know, we even, like, I feel like we settle in our life sometimes. I feel like we were talking the other day in routine. We're just like, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go out, and I'll just sit at home on my couch and watch Netflix again. Like, and it's just like, it starts like an everyday thing, and then you start getting bored, and then you start, like, just like
wasting the best years of your life.
Like,
literally.
I think back, I'm like, sometimes I can be lazy, but I'm like, I'm just gonna take an energy drink and I'm gonna go out, like, to a restaurant,
cup of espresso,
something, and just go out for like an hour or two, like, put yourself out there.
It's not, you know, it's not like we're saying go clubbing, go party. No, right. That's not our scene. No, just go out, put yourself out there, meet up with a friend, meet up with anybody, a family member, your parents. Be like, hey mom, want to go do something? You know what I mean? Like, literally.
Because honestly, I feel like 99% of the time I don't want to do something, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I went on this trip. I'm so glad that I went out today, because I really needed it. But that goes to career, but settling is also a big thing in relationships, and I can't really like talk about settling because Chris and I met when we were 15, 16, and I married him. You know, I married him at such a young age, but I loved him. I didn't feel at the time I was settled. I settled with him, and now I don't feel like I settled with him, but thankfully it's because we grew together. I think that if we would have grown our separate ways, maybe one of us would have felt like we settled. It also depends on how motivated the other person is. You know, if you have a significant other who you feel like is just stagnant in their life, don't really want a lot, don't want to pursue anything, then it can kind of feel like you're settling, you know. But thankfully for my situation, we've grown together. But I know that your situation has been a little bit different.
Yes. So God, where do I start? Where should I start?
Well, I feel like,
what questions do you have for me?
I think
never settle. I mean, seriously.
I think the biggest thing for you, I feel like thankfully you've never settled in your career. You didn't settle in your relationships until the one you had previously. But you know, your first like serious relationship, she was engaged. Like she was engaged
3 years.
And this guy cheated on her, and it could have been really easy for her to be like,
I'll take him back. Like literally lived with my family and me, and yeah, it was crazy. I remember it happening, and honestly, like that's the one like non-negotiable for me is cheating. Like as soon as someone cheats, I'm out. Whether it's emotional, physical, any type of cheating. If you're entertaining someone else, obviously this was a physical cheat to end an engagement, you know what I mean? But if that's just a deal breaker, I'm done. Like I just can't.
Let me interrupt. Do you think that people change?
I do. No. Okay, so I do believe people. I don't believe people change. I feel like, especially when you hit a certain age, I feel like, you know, when you're in your late 20s, early 30s and up or whatever, that's who you are. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's who you are. Like I sent you that one meme. It's like at 25, your frontal lobe is developed. Like
everything's developed. Yeah.
Nothing's changing. I do believe though that people mature.
Yes.
People do mature.
I will say that.
But it's hard to change those tendencies.
Yes.
You can mature, but eventually, what I'm trying to say is those red flags that come up at the beginning, they're not changing. Yeah. And you, like, if you're like me, you're like, oh, it's okay. Like, it'll change. It'll get better. And if it's not it from the start, don't waste time with the wrong people. Yeah. And I believe, because people are like, oh my God, like, you're so nice. You're so normal. Yeah. Why are you single? And I'm like, I waste a lot. And I thought about it and I'm like, is it me? Like, am I really crazy? Like, what is going on? Because like, I've noticed like the common denominator of these situations are that I ignore the red flags from the beginning when I should walk. I'm too nice at the beginning. You know what I mean? You need to let, hopefully no men that are watching this get offended. You need to let men earn you, like literally earn you. Not even just your like physical self, but like emotionally too. And like your time and your energy, like that stuff when you get older is so like sacred. Yeah. So 100%. Yeah. And for me, because I'm so nice and giving, even like with my friends, which with girls, it's completely different. Yeah. With me, we're the same. Yeah. We're always very giving. We're equal. But it's different with guys. Like you have to kind of let them earn you and let them win you over. And that's where I messed up in the past. It's like, I just was like, here you go. This is all of me. Yeah. I was like, and,
but do you feel like that's what kind of, affected or made, not really made, but do you think that affected your engagement? Like, why do you think he cheated? Was there ever like an answer to that?
Yeah. So with him for sure. But the major thing with him is that he was younger than me. He was a bit younger. At the time, I had just graduated college and he was like 2 years younger than me. So he was still in school. And I noticed those warning signs at the beginning and I was just like, oh, it's okay. Like once he gets to know me and loves me, like he'll change. Yeah. And that's not the case. Like their true colors shine from the beginning. And my mom told me, like, if a guy shows you their true colors from the beginning, isn't in love and obsessed with you from the beginning, it's not getting any better. It's not going to get any better. No. And I was like, yes, it will, Mom. Like, you know, I was so stubborn because I don't like quitting on people. And like, it's really hard to find, for me, it's really hard for me to find men that I like. Like, it's not, hello, Chris. Okay. We're back. It's really hard for me to find men that I like. So when I do like someone, I'm like, oh man, finally. Like, it's not that I get easily annoyed. It's just like, the older you get, the more you're just like, annoyed. You know what I mean? You're just like, I don't want to put up with this. Like, just the little things here and there. It's like, like, I just can't. I don't have the energy or patience anymore. So it's just noticing those red flags from the beginning. And I have ignored all of them with everybody that I've literally ever been with. And it got better at one point, and then I was single for a really long time.
Yeah, you were single for like a year and a half.
A year and a half to almost 2 years. And I think that's why when the potential person came up, because I'm so picky. It's not that I'm picky.
No, you are. Your dad was like, you're never gonna get married. Her dad was like, you're never gonna get married.
It's so hard for me to
tell. I want him to look at this. I want to look at this, and then I want.
Okay, but that guy looked nothing like my expectations.
No, he didn't. But she has very high expectations, which I 100% will say that if I was single right now, I would have very high expectations.
Yeah, because you take such good care of yourself.
Yes,
I expect 100%. That person, like, at least have a job, take care of your body.
More so emotionally and mentally. Better than physically. Like, I need you to be on the same level as me mentally and emotionally.
Help me grow mentally and physically.
Looks is a big thing too, but if you can't match me and like my drivenness, I guess the word would be, I am like, you're like out. You know what I mean? So
like,
it
being
is
able to have those intellectual conversations.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. Like, I hate when I'm like talking to someone and I'm like telling them all this and they're like, yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm like,
okay.
Wow. Yeah. I was like, so it's like, okay. And obviously you have to be like physically attracted to them too. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. But there's a lot of creeps too.
There are. She's gone through it.
Oh my God. Like the recent one. We'll tell y'all that later.
Well, multiple
weird. I can't even talk about some of them.
Yeah. It's just like, I just don't.
Come find me.
We'll talk. Come find me. DM me if you want to know. But
we'll talk.
No, like, it's like I was saying, I think for her was like, she notices the red flags and then she's like, oh, I can fix it. It'll get better. Yes. But
I'm a fixer. And women are naturally like that. Yeah. We're like, we'll fix it. Well, it's fine. It'll get better. I'll show him that, like, no.
It doesn't. No.
You're wasting your time.
First of all, like she said, if he's over 25 and that's the way he is. He's not going to change.
Who he is.
He may grow for you. He may, like, in the beginning, he may show signs that he's
progress.
growing.
Yeah, there's some progress. And you're like, that. Don't hold on to that either, because it's either, that's what I was holding on to. Like, we've made progress. Yeah. And she's like, okay, what? And it's still like breadcrumbs.
Yeah. It was.
And she's like, okay, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but, I believe that you're smart. And then, like, a year later, I'm like, so
but
it didn't work out.
But I think it's like I think the biggest thing with this previous relationship that you had, and I will say that my sister went through it, and a lot of girls that I've met have gone through it, which I don't understand. And I think I'm glad Chris we were young and we were kind of like in love kind of like thing. Like, do not, if this guy is not giving you 150% in the beginning, like literally like making plans with you, let's go out, I want to see you. He needs to be so obsessed with you. And if this guy is not obsessed with you in the beginning, it's not changing.
It's only going to get worse.
Yes. It's because a guy in the beginning wants to spend that time with you, wants to be with you. If he doesn't, honey, and he's playing all these weird games, like, you need to walk away. You need to run away from this person, because he's not going to change. Like, there shouldn't be any games at the beginning. There should always be, like, honest communication. But regardless, like, this guy should be so infatuated with you, so obsessed with you, like, and after like a few months, sometimes it's like, okay, we've been hanging out every day.
It's okay.
It kind of dies out. But if it's not like that in the beginning, it's not going to get
It's not going to matter. And I think my problem too was like, I was holding on to that progress. You know what I mean? And I was holding on to the one or two things that I knew was hard to find in men, like loyalty, and like, especially nowadays with like social media and like,
it's very hard.
Ass everywhere. It's like, oh God, it's like,
I'm one of those.
No. It's like, please, you can have them. Like, just on that's how I get. I'm like, you can have them. Like, that's the one thing where it's like, that's a deal breaker for me. It's fine to look at. Like, obviously, I look at it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, wow. But like, don't entertain it. Yeah. That's where I'm like, oh, done. Well,
social media nowadays has made everything so much harder. And even for me with like, I'm in social media, and I sometimes will say, like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll post like my physique updates or my booty, and I'm like, fuck, like, I really hope I'm not causing problems in relationships, because that sucks, because I've been there. I know social media can be such a dragging thing, and
but it's not your fault. That's the thing. For me, in the situation that I was in, was kind of like this, like the temptation is what got the person in trouble, but like, it's not the girl's fault. No. But it's not the girl's fault. No. There's temptation everywhere. There's temptation for you and me. Yeah. We don't entertain it. It's the self-control. It's them. It's not anybody else. It's not your fault. It's not that girl's fault. It's nobody's fault. Right. It's like, please, like, just have some respect and don't entertain it. Don't reach out to that person and be like, oh,
let's hang out.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Even that, like it's what I was saying. Like, there's gonna be and girls, please, like, I hope, like, if you're not at this stage, like, you can come to terms with the fact that there's always going to be naked women everywhere. There's always going to be hot women.
And that's fine. I look at it.
That's normal. You know, it's normal. I do too. And as long as your significant other is only looking and respectful about it, yeah, it's fine. But there's a difference between being, like, just looking and then trying to entertain someone and trying to reach out to someone.
That's
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So don't settle for that. Like, that's okay, because that's not okay. But yeah, like, it just comes to, like, if you see those red flags, don't settle. Run away.
Run.
Because
don't waste your time.
Yeah, you're gonna find someone.
Yes, you are. That's what we're talking about. I'm like, you will always find someone. And honestly, in every relationship I've been in, we've gotten better. Yeah. I know you haven't seen the ones in the past, but I've made progress. Surprisingly.
Thank God.
We're going in the right direction. But you know, what I need to work on personally is to give up. Like, seriously, I need to learn how to stop. Like, it's not working out, give up, let it go, move on. Because now that I'm getting older, my time and energy is precious. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, 40 and still on dating apps, which I don't believe in anymore.
Yeah.
I'm off the dating apps, off social media. Let it happen naturally. That's another thing. Like, my sister told me something. She was like, my little 21-year-old sister was like, they're on dating apps for a reason. Like, you are. If you can't meet someone socially, like, I know it's hard because I'm stuck in a routine too with work and work and working out. And it's hard to meet people, but try not to and let it happen authentically. Don't force it. Yeah. And that's my other thing too, is I force it.
Right.
By trying to find it and look for it.
I think, like, it's, Chris and I actually talk a lot about, like, this. I'm like, man, if I was single, like, I just don't know how you're going to meet people nowadays. But, and I told him your recent situation with the dating app, and he's like, you have to think, like, these dating apps are, if someone's on a dating app, they're pretty desperate for a relationship, one, so they're gonna be a little psycho. Like, two, like, you're not gonna want to go meet someone at a club.
True.
Because you don't want, like, I personally wouldn't want
someone who clubs all the time.
No. Yeah. But he did make a point. He's like, going out, socializing at a bar, okay, maybe. And I do think that you could find someone on social media. I think, like, you never know, you may across a guy who goes to your same gym, but you've never seen him, or, you know, a guy, like, who lives in your hometown, you've never seen him, but you've run across from his Instagram page. And I think,
but don't look for it. Let it just come, let it fall on your lap.
Yes. Yeah. Because, I mean, I think that's better than, you know, trying to force it through, like, a dating app, because I will say dating apps are, from what you've told me, is
it's just like one in a million. Like, you'll find that one in a million. So you have to go through the million and weed the weirdos out until you get to that one.
And if you have found your significant other on a dating app,
good job.
Good for
Proud of you.
But it does
it's hard.
It is very hard.
And it just feels like interviews. Like, I just feel like I'm going, I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like, oh gosh, I can't anymore. I'm like, you know what? Whatever's meant to happen will happen. I'm done forcing it. I'm done trying. Like, honestly, after my last breakup, I did get on social media. I mean, not social media, dating app, and what happened was, I was still, and a lot of the people that are on those dating apps are getting out of relationships, you know what I mean? Or trying to find someone to replace the person that they're in a relationship with. Because guys are like that. I don't know. Maybe some girls too, but they'll try to line someone up before breaking up with you. Yeah. Most guys do not like to be alone, whereas women are a bit stronger. I really do truly believe that. Like, for me, I'm done. Like, I did try that. I was like, let me see if I can meet someone. You never know. Like, a week after the breakup, and I was like, oh God, no. I can't.
No, and I will say, now that you said that, I think we are stronger, because I will say that all the previous times that Chris and I would break up before we got married, there's always someone lined up. Yes. Whereas for me, there was never lined up.
I'm gonna focus on hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, like, I was like, family. I don't have time to have a guy lined up. Like,
myself.
But they always had, like, multiple. I have someone I can
plan
entertain
A, B, C.
Literally.
If A doesn't work, I have two more.
That it couldn't entertain them. Yeah. But I also think it depends on the type of woman that you are. Yeah. I just wasn't that type to be like, hey, like, man, come, I need your attention. So it also depends, but
I'm actually more peaceful without him.
Yes.
I think that's why I'm picky now. Yeah. I think it seems like, you know, I want this, I want that, and I'll say that, but I think I'm more picky because of my peace. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want your peace.
I want my peace, and I want someone to amplify peace, not take away peace.
Is there anything that you feel like, I know recently, like, this audiobook that you were listening to has helped you? Is there anything else that you feel like has helped you?
So, I know I've brought up a lot of things that I learned from there. So, I feel like if you're going through a breakup, the best thing to do is to give yourself time to get over it. Like literally, I gave myself a week, like obviously I had to go to work, but I just gave myself a week off from like I let myself be sad. I didn't go to the gym if I didn't want to. I just let myself feel it. Because like so many people will distract themselves from feeling anything. And I used to be like that, where I'd be like, okay, let me just watch Netflix. Let me go to the gym. Let me go here. Let me go out. Let me do that. Then 2 months later, you're going backwards. Yeah. Because 2 months later, you're reaching out to them and you're like, I miss you so much. Oh my God. Because this whole time you weren't facing the issue. You weren't trying to get over the breakup. And then you end up going back 2 months later. So that's why it's been really hard. It was really hard the first 2 weeks, but I like, you know, I let myself feel it. I let myself get it out of my system. And at first I was upset. And one thing that I do regret is do not let anybody make you lose your control, like your emotional control, because having that emotional control is power. You cannot control other people. And that's another thing. It's like, I felt like I could control the situation. I cannot control what this guy does. No matter how many times I told him, oh my God, that's a really bad idea. Don't do this. Like, just sit with me. Tell me like you don't want it anymore. Don't, you know. Yeah. But you can't control other people. You can't control the outcome. So the best power, the number one thing that you do have is your control. And that's one thing that I do regret. It's like, I got really upset and, you know, I handled things incorrectly. And I do regret it now because they're not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not going to solve anything. It's not going to take you, it's not going to magically heal the relationship, or you're not going to get back together. It's just, when it's time to walk away, let go. Let go, move on, do you. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If they find someone else, they're meant to be that person or someone else, not you. Yeah. So I think that's my only advice. It's like, let it go, let yourself feel it, and then that's it. Like I told myself, I gave myself a week, and I was like, after that week, it's my new year. It's like that. It's my New Year resolution. We're moving forward. We're doing better. So
what was the audiobook called that you?
It's literally called F Him, and it's not like I don't want to say like a bad word. Yeah. But it's not like that. It's not like, oh, like F you, I'm gonna go do whatever I want. Like I'm gonna ruin your life. It's more like it's actually a really good book. It just tells you like start knowing your self-worth and putting yourself and seeing yourself as a high value woman. Yeah. And you don't have to be mean to do that. It's not like you're going to be mean to the guys, but like it taught me a lot about how I was dating, because I was dating incorrectly. I was dating wrong. Like I said, I was handing myself over. Like, this is me in a package. Like it was like an interview. I was selling myself first day, you know? And it's not like that. You have to let them earn it. And so it just taught me everything, like the mentality of how men think and how to hold yourself as a high value woman. Because we obviously, I mean, I'm not like, people are always like, oh my God, do you love yourself? Like, why are you always attracting these kind of men? It's like, of course I love myself. I just, how do you know how to date? Like, how do I know how to play those games? It's not really games. If you hold yourself to like as a high value woman, you don't put up with anything. You know, you don't put up with things that are disrespectful. Right. And I did. I put up with a lot of things that I was like, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's not good. That's not okay. Yeah. And I would tell her and she'd be like, yeah. She'd be like, run. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, we're getting better. And just don't. Just run. Just wait. You're wasting your time. There's always going to be someone out there that's better. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. I think that every girl needs to read that book, though. Yeah, I'm actually. And it's an Audible.
Gave it to me on Thursday, so I plan on listening to it, because I feel like even for me as a married woman, like you know, sometimes it's like what Heba was saying. Like in the beginning, I like held myself up here, and in my marriage, sometimes I do hold myself up here, but then there's something that triggers me that like brings me back to like where I'm like down here. I'm like, everything is for everybody else, and I put myself last. I don't put myself first, and it starts affecting my whole life. It starts affecting my self-esteem.
It's the way we were brought up.
I think so.
Because I've heard stories about your family, my family. We were brought up that way. Like, we have to cater to our men. Like, that's how a lot of Hispanic and Middle Eastern cultures are. That's what we see. Right. But times have changed.
Yeah. Very much.
Do you?
Yeah. You can't just cater to them, because when you start catering to them, trust me, honey, they don't care. They love it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they want to do. They're not catering to you. Okay. So I feel like that's happens in my relationship. Like, I feel like everything is catered to Chris. Everything. And then I'm like, okay, like,
what time do you want to do this? Where do you want to go for this? Yes. It's like, what about what I want?
Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, my whole schedule. I'm like, I already wake up anxious because I'm like, okay, I have a photo shoot here, but then Chris wants to go to the gym at this time, and then so then he has to eat, but he has to eat at this time, and then he has to come home and make sure this, like, it's like way too much stress. And I find that sometimes I go back into that routine, and recently I went back into that routine, and I was like, thankfully I have good friends who were like, you need to step out of it and realize who you are. Like
you are Jasmine.
You are
Pineda.
And my friends are like, you are freaking jazzyfit.
You're jazzy
act like it.
Jazzy, period, fit,
and then
period.
I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I am.
It's okay.
You forget.
She's humble.
Yeah. But it is. Like, you need to, like, stop catering so much for men, stop settling so much for men, because, you know, you should be your priority, and then after that, be picky with who you invest your time with in your relationship, and whatever it is, be picky and do not settle. But yeah, guys, we just wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Hopefully it helps some people.
Yeah, I'm sure it honestly, my last video, I'm like, man, I'm talking so much, it probably doesn't help probably not gonna help anyone, but I had so many good comments on there, so I really appreciate it. And like I said, any specific topics that you guys want us to talk about, want me to talk about, I can have a whole group of girls here.
Do it with all the girls.
Yeah,
oh my god, that'd be so fun.
And sex talks are coming up soon. I'm letting that come up slowly. Ooh. But I know I'm excited about that one. But because I've learned so much as an adult now that I didn't know when I was younger. I feel like girls nowadays probably know a lot more than I did at the time, for sure, 100%. But I still want to share that with you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I just really wanted to get an outside source to, you know, let you in her life and kind of like walk you ladies through if you guys are single or going through something similar, you know. Yeah, just a little different input. So thank you, Heather, for coming on.
No problem. You know what I just remembered? Whenever you're talking to my dad about sex advice.
Oh my gosh, stop. Your dad.
And I was like, can we not do this right now? And my dad was like, oh, actually, well.
What? No, what happened? Your dad was like, I was in the kitchen eating one of his meat pies that he makes, which I love. And he
my
was
dad
like,
thinks she's his third daughter.
Yeah, I love him.
He loves Jasmine.
Oh, I think I asked him, I was like, what advice would you give someone like me who's
married so long? Like, how to keep the sex life, like.
Well, I was like, how do you keep, like, the romance or something?
The romance alive.
And then he's like, I don't even know what kind of sex
life. He said you have to, like, pick your battles. He said that. He's something like, you have to kind of like bow down a little bit. Like, don't fight everything.
Yeah,
like,
he
pick
did
your
say
battles.
That. Yeah.
It's okay.
And then he said something about sex, and I was like, I wasn't meaning sex.
And I was like,
you're like, walk away, get out, out.
It's time to go. It's time. But anyway, thank you guys for having me.
Of course, we loved having. She's gonna be more on here, okay, guys? Because
if they like him,
no, they definitely will. And if you have a brother out there, a cousin out there who is single and has his shit together, please DM me. Yes. You can DM her. I'll leave all her.
DM her first. Let her approve. She'll give you the pre-approval process,
and then you may be able to meet her. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.